Single dad's neighbor knocked in tears after a bad date, whispered, "Don't leave me alone tonight." The knock came just after 11 on a cold, rain-soaked evening, the kind of night that made the whole apartment building feel strangely silent. Daniel had just tucked his 6-year-old daughter into bed after reading her favorite bedtime story when the desperate pounding echoed through the hallway. It wasn't the polite knock of a neighbor asking for sugar or a package. It was frantic, broken. The kind of knock that carried fear with it. When Daniel opened the door, he froze. Standing beneath the flickering hallway light was his neighbor, Emma, wearing a beautiful white dress now stained by rain and mud. Her makeup had run down her face with tears, her hands were trembling uncontrollably, and her eyes held the haunted look of someone who had just watched her world collapse. She looked at him for only a second before whispering words that would change both of their lives forever. "Please, don't leave me alone tonight." Before we continue, if you believe kindness still has the power to change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and subscribe to Shadow of Kindness for more emotional stories that remind us of the goodness still left in the world. Daniel wasn't a hero. He never thought of himself that way. He was simply a single father trying to survive each day after losing his wife, Hannah, to cancer 3 years earlier. Every morning began before sunrise as he prepared breakfast, packed lunches, and got little Lily ready for school before rushing to his construction job. Every evening ended with homework, dinner, laundry, and quiet moments where he pretended everything was okay so his daughter would never see how lonely he truly felt. His apartment wasn't fancy, but it was filled with warmth. Children's drawings covered the refrigerator. Family photos lined the shelves. Laughter, even when forced, echoed through its small rooms because Daniel had promised his wife that Lily would always grow up knowing she was deeply loved. Emma had moved into the apartment across the hall almost 8 months earlier. She always smiled politely whenever they crossed paths. Sometimes she carried groceries while speaking on the phone. Other times she hurried to work wearing professional clothes, always looking organized and confident. Daniel noticed that despite her cheerful appearance, she almost always came home alone. Occasionally he heard soft crying through the thin apartment walls late at night, but he respected her privacy, believing everyone fought battles invisible to others. That rainy night, however, privacy no longer mattered. Daniel gently invited Emma inside without asking questions. She stepped into the apartment carefully, almost as if she feared she no longer deserved kindness. Little Lily, awakened by the noise, peeked around the hallway corner clutching her stuffed rabbit. Before Daniel could explain anything, Lily quietly walked toward Emma and wrapped her tiny arms around the trembling woman without saying a word. Something inside Emma completely shattered. She dropped to her knees and cried harder than before, holding the little girl as though she were clinging to the last piece of hope left in the world. Daniel prepared warm tea while Emma slowly regained enough strength to speak. The story emerged in broken pieces between tears. She had been dating someone for nearly a year. He had seemed charming, attentive, and supportive. Tonight, during what she believed would be a romantic dinner celebrating their future together, she discovered he had been secretly seeing another woman for months. Worse still, when she confronted him, he blamed her, insulted her, and abandoned her alone outside the restaurant after taking her purse and leaving her phone locked inside his car. She had walked for hours through the rain, humiliated, frightened, and completely broken before realizing there was only one place where she felt even remotely safe. Daniel listened without interrupting. He recognized the expression on her face because he had seen it in his own reflection after Hannah died. It was the look of someone convinced life had permanently forgotten them. He spread blankets across the living room couch and assured Emma she could stay as long as she needed. There was nothing romantic about the moment. It was simply human kindness offered to another hurting soul. Before going to bed, Daniel checked every lock on the apartment door twice, not because he feared danger, but because he wanted Emma to sleep without fear for the first time that night. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the windows as though the storm had never happened. Lily happily offered Emma pancakes shaped like little hearts, proudly explaining that her daddy always made them whenever someone needed cheering up. Emma smiled through fresh tears, realizing she had almost forgotten what genuine kindness looked like. No one expected anything from her. No one judged her. She wasn't being rescued because she was weak. She was simply being cared for because she mattered. Over the following weeks, an unexpected friendship quietly blossomed. Emma began helping Lily with school art projects after work. Daniel occasionally fixed small things around Emma's apartment that had remained broken since she moved in. Friday evenings became shared dinners filled with homemade meals, children's laughter, and conversations that slowly replaced painful silence. Yet healing never follows a straight path. Emma often struggled with anxiety. Loud knocks on the door startled her. Unexpected phone calls made her nervous. Sometimes she canceled plans because painful memories returned without warning. Daniel understood. He never pressured her to move on faster than her heart allowed. Having experienced grief himself, he knew healing demanded patience more than advice. Meanwhile, Daniel battled his own hidden guilt. Part of him felt that allowing happiness back into his life somehow betrayed Hannah's memory. Every time he laughed with Emma or watched Lily giggle while painting pictures together, an uncomfortable voice whispered that he was forgetting the woman he had once promised to love forever. One evening, while organizing old family boxes, Lily found a handwritten letter from her late mother. Daniel had forgotten it existed. With trembling hands, he unfolded the paper and read words that seemed written for this very moment. Hannah had written that if life ever offered Daniel another chance to smile, she hoped he would take it without guilt because love was never meant to end with loss. True love, she wrote, teaches us how to love others even more deeply. Those words quietly changed everything. Months passed. Seasons shifted. The apartment building that once felt lonely